Good afternoon, High-10 George Realty. We have a special guest in the house. We have Pedro from Elite Home Inspections, and he'll introduce himself properly. So we will get started, and I'm going to have him introduce himself real quick, and then we're going to pull up his presentation.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Pedro, and I'm with the Elite Group Home Inspections. And then we're gonna go over how everything is. So you guys just already sharing to them or no?
Okay, I will share now. Okay.
Okay, so just a quick background, about our companies that I can just go over right here. I can go right here too.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Okay, hang on.
You gotta know.
Something happened. Hold on, folks. Let me fix this. Okay. Home report?
Oh, the other one first.
Okay. Okay, just stand by and Pedro will be speaking in a moment. We have a little bit of a technical difficulty. And by the way, you guys that are on Zoom, Pedro was very kind. He brought a really nice lunch to the office. So we are thankful for that. Elite, this one, right?
Yeah, the slides first. And then
Okay. All right, so we are back on the horse here, and let me go ahead and share. All right, there we go. Okay, Pedro, take it away.
Okay, so Elite has been around for about 40 years. Over those years, we have done over 600,000 inspections, and we cover all of Southern California from San Diego all the way up to Ventura County, and we even go to the high desert as well. Okay, and then as you guys know, because some people ask us, what is a home inspection? Well, it's a visual inspection. It's non-invasive. It's a snapshot in time, and it's not a pass or fail. A lot of people, after the inspection is completed, they will ask us, hey, did I pass or did I fail? And, it's not a pass or fail. We're just there to inform, the buyers or the agents. And what we inspect is we inspect the roof, the foundation, the garage, the attic, the, exterior spaces, interior spaces, electric components, plumbing, HVAC system, the fire place assessment, and with that, we don't actually check the chimney. We only check the fire assessment, make sure that all the gas is working, everything like that. We also do pool and spa, and it's an additional $100 for that, just so you know. Okay, and we do have other services that we provide, and as you can see here, we provide roof certification, okay? And with the roof certification, since we already do a thorough job inspecting the roof as it is with the regular home inspection, but with the roof certification, we use a roofing division, right? And with that, you can insure your roof from 2 up to 5 years. And for that inspection, especially if it's tile roofing, we really recommend it. And it's $190 for that inspection, right? But if the roof does qualify, you'll just pay $200 extra. It's $395 for the whole certification, right? And with that being said, anything that has to do with any leaks, we'll fix it for free within those 2 years. So it's $190 for the inspection, and you'll just pay the difference up to $395 for if the roof is certified. And then up to 5 years, it's $100, more each year. So for 3 years, it'll be $495, $595, and then $695. And we have seen that not only on the buyer side, but on the listing side, not only it's good for negotiation, but for insurance policies. We have seen that insurance companies are more likely to give you a policy if the roof is certified by a licensed roofer. Okay, so keep that one in mind. We also do sewer scope inspections. And with the sewer scope inspections, even new constructions, we have found issues with the sewer line. We have found, debris in there from when the house was being constructed. We have found dead rats in there. We have found possums in there. Also, like gloves and residue materials, rags and things like that, even with new construction. Also, keep in mind tree intrusion, right? So if there's a heavy landscape, or maybe there's a big tree in the front yard or backyard, or even the neighbor's yard, we recommend getting a sewer scope inspection. Also, if the house is older than 1985, that sewer line can be made out of clay or cast iron. And those materials are easier to deteriorate and also crack. And also you can have that tree intrusion problem as well. So we highly recommend getting the sewer scope always with the home inspection. And all of our inspectors do carry a sewer scope device with them. So let's say that you are at your inspection, and at the time of your inspection, you decide to get a sewer scope inspection, you can do that as well. Okay, we also do mold and air quality test, right? We do the swab test, the air quality test within mold. And with mold, we know sometimes it could be hard to identify what's mold and what's not. And even with mildew, because we know that those are the same, they're in the same family, but they're different, right? So we usually like to tell agents that mildew usually grows in humid places, like, by a bathroom or by a window, and it's a surface fungus, so it's easier to clean. You can just wipe it off and it's gone, right? But mold, on the other hand, usually grows inside the material, wood, insulation, drywall, and it's harder to clean, right? And also it can be in various colors. It could be pink, black, gray, blue. You never know, right? With mold. But mold is not the real issue. The real issue is moisture, right? So anytime there's any type of moisture or not a lot of ventilation in the attic, for example, we recommend getting a mold inspection just to be on the safe side, right? It's better to be safe than, maybe you can catch something early and prevent a bigger problem from happening down the road. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We do both of those. We also do termite inspections. And with the termite inspections, we can most likely get that the same day as your inspection. And do you guys, anybody here know the two different types of termite in Southern California? No. Yeah, subterranean termite and then the drywood termite. Those are the most popular ones, right? The subterranean termite, as the name says, it starts from the bottom of the home and work their way up. But the way that they travel is to mud tubes. Okay, so if you see any mud tubes at the bottom of the home, it's most likely subterranean termite. The drywood termite, they usually start at the top of the home, in the attic or fascia boards or top of the fencing and work their way down. And those are the ones that leave those little pallets behind that you guys see on the wood. Oh, those pallets are called frass, and they're pretty much just their feces, their poop. So for that, so just keep that in mind, a little, background about those two most popular termite in Southern California. Also, there's two things on the termite inspection that you need to be aware of. And are you guys familiar with that? The section 1 and section 2? Okay, make sure, that's a big thing. A lot of, some agents don't know the difference between those. So yeah, keep that one in mind. But we do that termite inspection, and it does have a cost. It's $130 for that inspection. And usually for the termite inspection, the inspection report, it's 2 to 3 days. You guys will get the report back from that. I usually say 2 days you'll get the reports back, but usually 2 to 3 days. And with the mold inspection, usually 3 to 5 business days for that. So usually I like to recommend, if you do get a mold inspection, to get it on the beginning of the week, so then you'll get it back by the end of the week, rather than like a Thursday or a Friday, because they don't work on weekends. So keep that in mind as well. We also do solar inspection now. So that's actually new to us due to the new law in California that all new homes need to have solar panel now. We started that inspection as well.
As of when?
As of February, we started.
Okay, but when is the law?
2024.
Okay,
So last year, yeah.
so any new build?
Any new builds
Okay.
in California.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, with the solar inspection, we usually inspect how it's connected to the electrical panel. We also check the inverter, make sure everything is working. And we also check the connection up above and how it's mounted to the roof, which is a big thing too. Since it's a big investment, even on new construction, we have found them not being installed correctly, mounted to the roof correctly. So we want to keep that in mind. And also we make sure that it's giving you guys good energy too. So we'll test to make sure that it's powerful, and then make sure that the solar panels are working properly as well. Okay, we also do, the electromagnetic testing. We just test the ways if you're next to a, cell phone tower or anything like that, we'll make sure that the radiation that it's transmitting, it's not at a high level. We'll make sure it's a safe for you guys as well. I would say a lot of people don't usually get that inspection, but just another thing that we do for you agents as well. Also, there's a few tips that I like to remind everybody, because we have seen agents that have been agents for a really long time make these little problems, and this little problems can make, you know, the inspection all go so smooth. And is to make sure that everything is out of the way and cleared when the inspection, if there's things in the home, make sure that everything, maybe in the garage is in the middle, so we can get around to what we need to get to, like, you know, the electrical panel, the attic, the, you know, crawl spaces, make sure that those are accessible for us. Okay, because we see a lot of, you know, times we have to go back for reinspection, and that could delay your escrow timelines. We also charge $200 for a reinspection. Also, make sure all the utilities are on. This happens a lot, so make sure that, you know, electricity, the plumbing, the gas is on. Also, nowadays, Wi-Fi, a lot of houses are ran by Wi-Fi, so make sure everything is working before we go inspect, because if one of those items aren't working, we won't be able to check, and that could be a big problem, and especially the plumbing, because that could be, you know, leaking or anything like that. So make sure everything is working. Also make sure that if there's pets in the home, make sure they're put away so the inspector can get everywhere what he needs to get to. And another thing is make sure that the smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector are installed and working properly before the inspection, because that's something that, you know, could be read on a report, and I will go through that and I'll let you guys know. That's something that it's easy fix, but it's better to avoid those little things, right? So all those little tips that I just told you, agents, if you guys keep that, avoid those things from happening, the inspection can go really smooth, and, you know, you guys will get a good result from that as well. Okay, so in our company, we do have about 80 inspectors. Because we have so many inspectors, they're all broken into teams, right? Because, you know, we do about 400 inspections a week. And what makes us different than other companies is experience, and, you know, that we do so many inspections. So we have a lot of, you know, for example, they meet on Zoom once a week, right? And the reason why they meet on Zoom once a week is to talk about the weeks and good things that happen on the field and bad things that happen on the field, so they can get better at their job, right? And they also meet on at the office once a month to role play scenarios and go over scenarios that they encountered within that month, or scenarios that we see a lot, which is, you know, buyers that are very picky, or buyers that are contracted, they think they know everything, or buyers that bring the whole family. Because at the end of the day, we can have all these services for the agents, but if we don't have the right language, you guys won't use us again, right? So we really focus on our communication, because we have, you know, a lot of experience, and we counter a lot of things on the field. So we do that with them. Also, another thing with the inspectors, we only do 2 inspections a day. And 2 reasons for that. One, we don't want them to rush on your inspections. We also see a lot of other inspection companies doing 3 to 4 inspections a day. And which, for them to be able to do that, they have to rush to the inspections, right? But we only make them do 2 a day. And if they're new in our company, they can only do 1, and they only can do a condo if they're, you know, have 6 months of experience up to a year before they can actually inspect, you know, big homes, and have 2 a day as well. Another reason why is that you guys will get the reports within 24 hours, or a lot of times the same day as your inspection too. So that's why we only have them do 2 a day, so they can go home and make sure they can upload the report for you guys as well, because we know that's something that you guys want right away. So we make sure that we can get that for you guys, like I said, within 24 hours, but a lot of the times even the same day as your inspection. Okay, and because we have so many inspectors, we are open 7 days a week. Okay, so that's another thing. Even if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, or any type of federal holidays, we always have inspectors willing to work. All of our inspectors, they're background checked because they're going to people's home. They're also certified through Internachi, which is the hardest certification that you can get for a home inspection, and the longest. And also, they're all insured. Okay, that's a big one too. All of our inspectors are insured. So even if you don't use us, make sure that the company that you're using, make sure that the inspector is insured. That's a big thing as well. Or insured, if something happens in the home, you know, they all have E&O insurance.
E&O.
E&O insurance, yeah.
Yeah.
So now that I talk about that, you want to go back to the other one? I can go through the inspection report, and this one need to keep scrolling up and down. So if you want, I can even take over.
Oh,
if you want,
okay,
if you
yeah.
want to.
What do you want to do now?
Go to the, if you can.
The other
Yeah,
report?
the other report.
Okay. All right.
So now I want to show you guys things that, you know, it's good to know, even though that the inspector will also communicate with you guys and also the buyers about the inspection report. But if you know these little things, I'm actually gonna walk through a home inspection. And I'm just gonna go through all the things that came in red on this report. But it's things to keep in mind, of course, that the home that you're gonna be, that our guys are gonna be inspecting is different. Could be totally different, but these are the items or these are the things that you can also encounter. Yeah, that one, perfect. And if you want, I think.
Okay. You're gonna drive?
Yeah,
Okay,
because I need to go to
okay.
one of the pages and I have to keep going down, so I don't want to. So usually, so this how our reports come in. Has anybody here used this before? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know that usually this is the front of the page, right? Right here. So if I go down a little bit, maybe I can go down a touch. Right here, we'll always have the inspector's information. So if you ever need to get a hold of him, you can. And I always say, if you want to get a hold of the inspector, you should never really, I mean, you can always call them, but I would say text them and not even email them. Because if you text them, they're more likely to get back to you the same day, because a lot of times they're on inspection, so they won't be able to answer. But if you do want to call, I'd say always call around 11 or 12 when they're going from one inspection to the other. But yeah, so you can always ask anything you want for them. On this side, it will always have the year that it's built, the day of the inspection, the weather, and the order number. So if you need to call me or the call center for anything else, you can always use his ID number, and you can do that as well, right? So let me go down right here to the. So right here, this is the most important part, right? This is the part that we all want to know about, the summary page, right? So everything that comes in red will be in the summary page. And there is three wording that you need to be aware of through this inspection. And it needs to be service, and recommend upgrade. Needs to be serviced by a licensed, plumber, electrician. That I would say the most important one. Recommend service is right below that, and then recommend upgrade is the least worry that you need to have, but it's also good to keep it in mind, right? So once you read this section right here, that's pretty much what it's telling you. So if you go here, the interior of the home, page 12, item 3, usually with our reports, here, let's see, I'll read it for you guys. So visible abnormality found with thermal device at kitchen, evidence of possible moisture, issue plumbing leak from upstairs primary bathtub needs to be evaluated by a licensed plumber contractor. So if you click on there, it will take you right to the page what they're talking about always, right? So right here, as you can see here, okay, maybe go down a tiny bit. Okay, it's kind of hard to get to right there, but he will always have the photo, and all of the inspectors, of course, they carry a thermal device with them. And what they do is when they get to the inspection on the interior of the home, they all turn on the water, right? And they let the water run for about 30 to 40 minutes to make sure there's no active leak, right? So this is what this inspector did. He wanted to make sure there's no active leak in the home. Maybe I can go like this. Oh, there you go. Maybe. But as you can see, it's hard to. So this part right here should be all red and purple, but that blue mark shows where the leak is, right? And right here, he's showing where he pointed at. So keep that in mind. They will always have photos of everything. Our report are very thorough. So we have, this report has like 79 pages, I think 75, something like that. But so keep that in mind. You just have to click on the item it will take you to that page, and it will show you right here. So because it says if that needs to be evaluated by a licensed plumber contractor, that's something that I would for sure keep in mind, and that's something important, right? But you're gonna see that there are things on this report, like this next item that I'm going to read, that it's not so important, but because they're certified through InterNACHI, it needs to be in red, right? So right here it says, page 16, item 10, the electrical. So bulb defected, missing light, did not function at upstairs primary bathroom. Recommend service. And on the other item says loose J-box cover at ceiling, minor, and it says recommend service securing. So if you click right here, it will show you that all he's saying that this light bulb is not working, right? So that's an easy fix. So that you just go to Home Depot, you can get a light, or you tell the buyer, or that's something that it's not such a big deal. And another thing he's talking about is just the J box is loose right here. So maybe if you just tighten that up and get a new light bulb, those two items can be crossed off of being in red on the inspection report, right? So if I go back to to the main page, as you can see, so far we had one item up here that it's needs to be in red, and that's for sure it's something that needs to be in red. These two items is easy fix, so you can pretty much cross these two out. But like I said, because we are focusing on language and communication, the inspector will go over this with the agents and also, you know, the buyer as well. And I thought you had a question. Okay, so here we go. Bathroom, right? So page 21, item 4, the sink. So it says drain stopper did not operate properly. Recommend service at upstairs primary bathroom. The other item is low water pressure at fixture. Check shower head. Recommend service at downstairs bathroom. So on this report, of course, they're all different. You're gonna see a lot of low water pressure at fixture all the way to the bottom of the report, and then we'll get to that. But that's another thing you need to be aware of. There's sometimes you're gonna have a repeating item on there. So you can also let them know too, hey, there's, you know, you can just be sure to let them know that it could be the same thing, but because he's getting a lot of water pressure on the things that he's turning on, he has to write that down. Okay? So if I do click right here on the drain stopper, it's in red, but it's pretty much just the you know, the little plunger on the back of the sink that you guys see. That's you know, broken. So that's pretty much why this is in red, and it says that's why it says recommend service. So this is something that, you know, maybe you can even fix. Maybe it could be something, you know, very minor, but he does have to note those things, and because it's broken, he had to put it in red. But as you can see, there is another item in red that it's not such a big deal, right? And then the other item is the water pressure, right? And if you click on there, it was pretty much just show you that you can't really tell, but that the pressure is not giving out how it's supposed to give out, right? And like I said, at the end of this, you'll see why. So another thing that I want to show you right here is a lot of times you'll see things that are tied together, right? So I'm going to show you an example of that. So, oh, you'll see right now. I'm going to explain. So right here, this is something that we see, you know, common on other reports too. So kitchen, I'm going to read these 3 items and then I'll go through it and then I'll explain why they're all tied together. So kitchen, right? Page 29, item 2, cabinets. It says stained blistered areas under sink, visibly wet due to leaking from dishwasher air gap, needs to be serviced, right? The other item is low pressure drinking water faucet. There's the low pressure again, but it says the other item is caulking, maintenance needed at fixture to countertop juncture. The other item is the dishwasher, and it's water discharge out of the air gap when draining. Recommend servicing, and loose air gap to the countertop. Recommend resecuring to prevent unwanted moisture entering the cabinet. But those 3 items that I just read to you guys, they're all tied together. So if you click on the first one, it will bring you down to right here, right? And you can see he's pretty much saying that there's water staining down here. The yellowness is because water is getting through somehow, right? But if water is getting through, you don't know where the water is coming from, right? So the water is actually coming through. Should I go back to the? So the first item you saw the yellow stains, right? So the water is actually coming through this item right here, right? So because the water is getting through this, this top juncture is not properly sealed, right? So somehow water is getting through this and it's causing that yellow stain on there. So you already see 2 items tied together. Let's say that if you were just to, you know, go to Home Depot, get a little sealer and seal this, the water from getting below is fixed already, and this one is fixed too, right? So, but as you can see, those 2 items are tied together. You fix one, the other one, no more water intrusion, right? But there's another item that's causing water to get into this, right? And that is that the water, I'll show you guys right here. The water discharge out of the air gap, right? So right here, as you can see, water is coming up. So because the water is coming up through this air gap right here, it's getting, you know, going through the unsealed top juncture and getting through the bottom of the sink and making that wet, right? So if you were to seal that thing, the bottom of the sink is fixed and that seal thing is fixed. So out of the 3 items, 2 things are fixed. But water is backing up onto the counter, right? So the reason why it's backing up is because the dishwasher is connected to the garbage disposer. And a lot of the times that could be, no, they can get backed up, right? So if those 2 items back up, water will go up through the air gap. Or sometimes it's not installed correctly. So you just have to check which one it is. So this one is not such a big deal, but let's say that you were to clear this line, everything else is fixed, right? You clear the line, water doesn't come up on the sink, doesn't get through the top juncture, and doesn't get the bottom of the sink wet. So what I'm trying to say is items like that you will encounter, maybe not on the next home, but eventually you will encounter things that are tied together. So this is just an example that sometimes, if you fix that line or maybe you just fix that connection, it will prevent all of those things from happening. But once you look at the report, it looks like there's a lot of things wrong with that with the kitchen, right? But if you clear that line, all these 3 items right here, as you can see, it can be crossed off, right? So far, there's 2 items that we actually see problems with, right? Which is the plumbing up here, that the leak, and also the low pressure, right? The low water pressure. It's something that you need to be aware of. Yeah.
Can you more about the water pressure? Because we do see sometimes high water pressure, sometimes low water pressure. How to fix that issue? Or what's the normal water pressure?
So yeah, I was actually gonna go through that, but I'll explain it to you right now. Then, so as I go through the item, keep going through these items, you'll see, and at the end, I'll explain it now, but I'll go to it as well. So the water pressure of this home is low, right? I think it's 44 to, I forget what it is, but I think it's 44 to something. But the the water pressure of a home needs to be 55 to 80 psi. This one is 44 to 70, I think. I can check it out when we get to it. But that's why it's showing you low water pressure. But so that needs to be evaluated by a licensed plumber. So I can't answer like why the reason being is. I just know that the water is low because the water pressure of the home is low, right? So, and the recommended, it will show you here too. Not only would let you know on the report that it's low, it will also let you know what it needs to be at. And I'll show you through as I go through this. Um, the other item on the kitchen, it says some under cabinet lights did not operate correctly, and that's just the cabinets under the kitchen cabinets are just not working. So even if I do click on that real quick, I'll just show you guys, it's just not working. So that's another easy fix. So out of all the kitchen items, you fix one thing and then put the light bulb in there, all of these items pretty much cancel out. Okay, so um, now let's talk about the lodging area, right? So it says no protection pan under the closet, the clothes washer on second floor. Recommend upgrade. So these are the things that sometimes, where is it at? Did I lose it? These are the things sometimes if you do click right here. No, it's not. Can I go like this? Oh, it's right here. So right here, he's pretty much just saying that the pan under here, there has to be a pan under here, or it doesn't have to be, but there usually is a pan under here if it's on the second story because it could be an issue. But that's just something that it's an upgrade, right? So that's something that it's very minor, but he will write it on there if those little things, needs to be upgraded because, if water does, back up from the washing machine, it could go on the floor and that could cause, a big issue. But just keep that in mind too. And that's what I wanted to say about the upgrade that sometimes you will see on that, but that's something that you don't have to, fix, but that's something that you could look into and get it fixed as well. Another item I want to talk about too is that sometimes you want to make sure that the HVAC filters are cleared out because sometimes he will put it in red as well. As you can see, it's kind of hard to. So let's say it says right here, the filters are worn, dirty, need replacement, and that's just, the HVAC filters. So those are the things that you also could avoid. Same thing from, the carbon monoxide and the smoke detector. If those aren't functioning correctly or not installed at all, those are some items that will go in the report. That's why I like to, you know, keep that in mind, that make sure those are installed and working. Same thing with this, you know, make sure maybe the filters are clean, or, you know, maybe ask the listing agent to talk to the seller, things like that, because it could avoid, you know, for it to be on the report, right? Another thing that it's really important to keep in mind is the, you know, if we see any type of chipping around the home, right here, let me see if I can, like on the stucco, as you can see right here, anything like that or bigger, or I would say even a little bit smaller than that, we are gonna put it in red, because, you know, water is the house's worst enemy. So any water intrusion, we don't want that. So make sure that, you know, if you see do that, you can even, you know, tell them, hey, that's something that you need to get fixed, because, you know, we don't want no water intrusion that could cause, you know, cause moisture, and moisture could cause, you know, mold in the home. So make sure that that's always fixed. And like I said, if there's cracks on the stucco, um, then that's okay. You know, we're not gonna put it in the report, but if it's chipping, something like, as you can see right here, we'll definitely put it in red. So just keep that in mind as well. Now going back right here to this page. So now, as I was telling you about the water pressure, it says right here, you have photos with you, approximately pounds per square inch. This is low, right? So this one's 40 to 45. So it's low. Recommend service by a licensed plumbing contractor. And if you do click on there, it will show you right here that that it's low. And right up here on the observations right here, observations, he will let you know recommended water pressure is between 55 to 80 psi, right? And then he will take a photo and show you where it's at, if it's low or if it's high, like you were saying, but that needs to be evaluated by a licensed plumber. So also keep that in mind. And
What will happen when the water pressure is low?
Well,
What may,
I mean, if the water pressure is low, you're not really concerned by any leaks or anything like that, but it's just, you know, for you to shower or for you to maybe do the dishes or anything that you need water pressure, it just won't give you, you know, a lot of pressure. So it's not really recommended for that. And I would say if it's, you know, very high pressure, it could cause leaks and things like that. So you want to make sure, like I said, it's 55 to 80, but he will let you always know on the report. It will show you what it needs to be at. If it's anything with whatever it is, we'll put it on the report as well. Um,
Is there a water pressure tester that a homeowner can buy on their own to test any time during the year? Like at Home Depot?
so it will tell you on the gauge on the outside when he's checking the water. We'll show you where the water pressure is at.
Oh.
So as you can see right here,
inside.
yeah, like I'll show you right here. You see at the water gauge right here, he took a photo of it, and our homes will have that right here. I can't really. So it will show you. So he took a photo so you can see it on the home, on the water pressure regulator. But yeah, if you the water pressure regulator you can buy as well, and then you can hook it onto the hose and then open it, and it will let you know as well.
On a hose?
Yeah, yeah, on in a spigot or anything like that, anything that you can get on, you can do it. But yeah, so you can just check to see what it is. But yeah, you can buy yourself as well.
So with that, you attach it to a spigot, put full blast.
Yeah.
And tell.
Exactly, it will show you. Yeah. So here, the last item on this report that I want to show you guys is that there's things that you let me go down a little bit. Right here, it says small localized water ponding may occur in areas. Monitor these areas as drains may be needed. So sometimes because it's a sunny day, like, you know, this day, we're not able to inspect this part of the home. But like I was saying, because, you know, the water is the house worst enemy, when he's outside inspecting the outside of the home, he can tell that the pavers aren't they're not, you know, they're uneven, and also you can't really tell on this photo, but the grading is going towards the home, not away from the home. So those are the things that he can't be sure that, you know, here I'm not sure if water's gonna be ponding right here, but this is something that you need to be aware of. So maybe you can, hook up a hose and then put water around this area to see if water will go towards the home, because that's something that could be a big issue as well. So sometimes you will see on reports that even if it's something that he can't really see at the time, but he'll be like, hey, you might want to watch for this. So that will be in red as well. But like I said, he will explain everything to you at the end of the inspection and let you know why he put it in red. And that's one of the items that I like to mention, because that's something that you can, maybe avoid, or maybe tell, if you're on the buyer side, tell the listing agent or, the seller about this. Maybe that's something that they can do before moving forward. Another thing is that they can put in red that it's not on here, is that the AC system out here, if there's any bushes really close to or touching it, that's something that's going to be in red on the report. So I also like to mention that if you do see bushes close to the AC system, let the listing agent know, or the seller, or, maybe on the buyer side, you can let them know to maybe cut a little bit back away from it before the inspection is on, is going to happen, because that's something that they can clear, and make sure that's another item that, won't be in red as well. So keep that in mind. But like I said, I wanted to show you guys this one because this is something that we get a lot too, that things that we can't really test, but it could happen um, down the line. So keep that in mind as well. So going back to this list right here, I just wanted to, show you guys that out of all the items that we saw, a lot of the items can be crossed off, and not all the items is really, really important. But if you just look at this report, it looks like it could be something that it's like, oh my God, there's a lot of things wrong with the home. But most of the things that were on here, are things that are tied together, or things that it's just the light not working, or easy things, and that could happen in your report as well. So just keep aware of that, because even when you do get the report back, now that I'm going through this, you can kind of read it and see what's important, what's not, and you can note that as well. And you can always contact the us, Elite Group, or the inspector, or you can even calm your buyer down by letting him know that not everything that is in red is going to be an important item, or something that is really bad and wrong with the home. Okay, so a lot of questions that we get is, how much is this all going to cost, right?
Right.
That's a question that we get a lot. And because we get a lot of those questions, now that I'm kind of done moving with that thing, because we do get a lot of those questions, is anybody here familiar with the repair pricing?
Yes.
You're familiar with the repair price? Anybody else? Okay, well, so the repair price is pretty much an estimate how much everything that it's in red is going to cost to get fixed, right? And what's cool about the repair pricer, I just showed you the report, and a lot of the items that are on there doesn't need to be on there, right? So everything that is in red, you can choose what you want it to be generated by the repair pricer. So repair pricer is a tool from Elite Group to the agents only, right? And with the repair pricer usually comes with a cost of $90. But if you book an inspection through us, if it's a single family home, a manufactured home or condo, it comes free with every inspection. So after 24 hours after you receive a report, literally 24 hours after that, you will receive another email from Repair Pricer. And all you have to do is click on there, select the items that you want to be generated to see how much it would cost to get it fixed, and then get an estimate. And of course, this will just give you a ballpark estimate how much it would cost to fix, because the inspector can't really see behind the wall, and he can't really see how actually damage is. But this could give you a starting point negotiation, or this could give you a starting point, just when you talk to contractors, how much it would cost to get it fixed. So, and this is a tool just for the agents only. So maybe, your buyer will call us asking for this. We can't give that to them. It's only for you agents only. And let's say that if you don't want to do anything about it, just disregard the email or delete the email. You don't even have to, click on it to get it, to see how much it's cost. And how we check to see how it's generated, it's by AI, zip code related, and also by a contractor for a better accuracy. But that's how we get the estimate amount. But like I said, that's something that if you don't like it, you can just disregard that email, because we get both sides, right? We get people loving it and saying, oh my God, like I love Repair Pricer, I did it and we got, $10,000, discount on it because of it. And then we get the other side where, damn, you guys said it was, $30,000 in damage, but it was actually 70 or, it's a lot more. Because, like I said, it's just a starting point negotiation that you can use and it's a tool for the agents only. And that's, like I said, and I'll repeat it, that's something that only goes to you agents only, doesn't go to anybody else. So you have any questions about the Repair Pricer?
That's a repair pricing is generated by AI.
Yeah, by AI, a contractor, and it's also zip code, so depending on the area that you live in.
Who submitted to AI?
I'm sorry?
Someone must submit it to AI.
Yeah, the company Repair Pricer does.
Yeah.
So
Is there another company other?
yeah,
than-
so Repair Pricer it's not from Elite Group. So the Repair Pricer is a company, because if you get a report from anybody, you can go to repairpricer.com and get a Repair Pricer from yourself. But of course, it's gonna come with a cost. But for us, if you do an inspection through us, we have a partners with them that it's free. If you, for single family home, manufactured home and condo. But yes, they review through AI, but also a contractor to make sure everything's correct. And like I was saying, it's zip code related too. So it goes from the cost that it's around the area where the house is, built in.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And that's, like I said, that's one of the tools that we have.
That's just an estimate, right?
Just an estimate, yeah.
Can I ask you, do you have, like, let's say they want all kinds of different inspections from you for one property that they're representing the buyer, do you have discounts on multiple
Yeah.
buys?
Yeah.
Okay,
If you guys give me a call, I can, depending how much you spend and depending on the situation, I can definitely give you guys a good discount.
okay.
What's the inspection price for a 3-bedroom?
So the prices depends on square footage, right?
Right.
But I would say that if it's 2,000 square foot home,
Okay.
it's about like 450 to 500 around there, maybe a little bit less, but I would say around that price range.
Plus roof,
Yeah, so we already inspect the roof.
that include the roof?
Yeah, that's include the roof, but if you want a thorough inspection, we can also do we have a roofing division, and then they can go in, it's $190, and you can do a very, very thorough inspection through them. And we really recommend if it's some tile roofing, and if you want to get the roof, if you know that the roof is gonna qualify, we usually like to, we recommend that one if you want to, certify the roof,
Mm-hmm.
through any leaks.
Does that cover sewer slope
So the sewer scope is $275 with the home inspection.
plus on top?
Yeah, on top of the 450 to 500, yeah.
Okay.
So we already inspect the roof, but if you want a very thorough roof inspection, 190, and if it does qualify, you can certify it for $200 extra, so, $300 you can qualify, your roof.
How do you inspect the roof? By drone or
Yeah.
someone?
So it depends, so if we can't get access to the roof, we use our drone, but if we can, we like to visually inspect ourselves rather than the drone.
How do you visually inspect? You climb up to.
Yeah, they climb up to the roof and then they look, on the shingles, make sure all the shingles, if it's, shingle roofing or tile roofing, they make sure that there's not anything loose or broken or there's no cracks on it and things like that.
And
I
this
had
is
a-
where your insurance comes in handy. 'Cause
Yeah,
those
yeah,
guys
exactly.
walking around on the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a case, the roofer said that not allow anyone to walk on the roof.
Right,
Okay, then we get the drone.
yeah, that's Spanish tile, like our roof,
Yeah.
you cannot walk on that,
Yeah, if it's Spanish, if it's things like that, we use a drone.
yeah,
Oh, but the shingle, regular shingle,
Yeah,
people can walk on.
We can
that.
walk on it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we do that.
Do you only do some inspection, just for balcony?
So that was another tool that I was gonna cover. So another tool that we have is the Preferred Partners Program. So things that we don't do, we have a page, a list of trusted vendors that, we make sure that they can provide you guys with good quality work as well. And they're a big enough company that will cover a big area too, right? Because we are a big company. So we make sure that, only big companies we put on our website. But we do have guys on there. We have balcony inspectors on there that you can use. There is, let's say that if you need a plumber, like on the inspection report, we have plumbers on there, we have electrician, we have pest control, we have, like I said, balcony inspections. We don't inspect inside the chimney, but we have chimney inspectors on there as well. of trusted vendors. So I'll pass out some cards, but on the back of my card, if you scan this QR code, it will take you to the preferred list, and then from there you can let them know. And I suggest you agents tell them, hey, I got your information through a lead group. They can, might accommodate like a discount or things like that for you as well. But yeah, so we don't do it ourselves, but on our page there we have a vendor that does it.
You
And
said
then-
something about new build.
Yeah.
What do you do for new build?
In regards to
When you building, I think Michelle. said something.
Electrical panel.
so all new homes since last year, any new
Solar.
build,
Solar.
yeah, they need to have solar panels.
Mhm.
Oh, since last year.
Since, yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So,
Solar
New
panel.
builds,
yeah,
though.
any new builds, yeah, in California. So
Oh.
that's why we started the solar inspection division
Oh.
as well.
What if they don't work, the solar, and the company's out of business? Do you guys have someone to fix it or not?
So, because it's a new, we want to have that as well, but right now we don't yet. So we just inspect, and if it's of course not working, we'll just let you guys know that it's not working, things like that, but we can't fix it.
Mhm.
Not yet, at least, we're trying to, build that division a little better as well.
I heard the lifespan for solar panel is only like 15 years. Is that
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah,
No,
me
I can't
neither.
answer that question, yeah. I'm not, yeah.
It's not a forever.
Yeah, I've heard that as well, that it's not forever, but yeah, I'm not sure, because, that's with the solar, we just, like I said, we just started the solar division as well, so, what we do is just inspect it, so I'm not sure about, how that works with the solar, panels, how everything works with them.
Thank you.
And then your inspectors, are they licensed or?
So there's no licensing in California, so anybody can be an inspector. So literally, like, you can be an inspector. Literally, anybody in this room can be an
You
inspector,
just
much is
need
the
to
salary?
be trained
but.
by elite.
So all of our inspectors, they're all certified through International, which is, like I was saying, the hardest certification
Yeah.
that you can get and the longest, and it's a 6 months process for you to get certified.
Oh, so they take a test or whatever?
Yeah, they take a test, they go through they go through the International, they go through schooling for
Right.
them, and then they make sure everything's good, and then they take tests. After those 6 months, when they work for us, they're not allowed to they can only do a small condo and only one a day for about 6 months. And then when they're inspectors, managers, they think they're good enough to do 2 a day in bigger homes, and then they will let free, and then they can do everything else. But it takes about, I would say, to actually be an inspector, takes about a year, and then it takes about 10 years for them to be a certified master inspector. And then we have a few of those too. So if you guys want an inspection and you call me, hey, I have this picky buyer, or this is a really big deal for me, can I get a certified inspector with 10+ years of experience? I can, pick that out for you guys as well.
Oh, thank you.
Do you do commercial building?
Yeah, we do commercial.
Last year I called you, you guys said that you don't do commercial building because that's a different license.
No, we do commercial.
Oh,
Yeah. We pretty much inspect anything. Yeah, we have 3 commercial guys that all they do all day is commercial.
how come I call you guys, I was told that you don't do.
I'm not quite sure because, we've been doing
What
commercial
is
for a really long
price?
time.
How do you charge for commercial?
So for commercials that's something I don't even have an idea for you, because that one is really, we have to get the square footage and see how big it is and what it is exactly for me to be able to give you an estimate. But let's say that you have a commercial and you wanted to get an estimate, just text me the address. I can get you within 10 minutes. I can get you a right, a correct quote, how much it would cost for commercial.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We'll wrap up.
Where is the correct place to install carbon monoxide?
So cover
I
my,
see everywhere. I see it was installed everywhere, on the ceiling, on the wall, plug in.
yeah, usually needs to be 2 in the home. Like usually, I forget how many feet apart they need to be, but yeah, it needs to be.
What
I guess
height?
it depends on the square footage as well, on the home. But
And
yeah,
the
it needs to be a
height.
few on the height.
What
exactly.
height, though, do they think she means? Because you do see them
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
ceiling, you see them in the middle or at the,
Yeah, that's a good question.
bottom.
I'm not quite sure on the height either.
yeah.
I'm not quite sure on that.
I understand each level has this. So
Yeah.
like a 3-level condo, you need to have 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Each level, but Could you,
Yeah, I can find it out after this is done. I just wanted to say there's another tool for the agents too. And that's the home binder, and that's for actually the buyers. So let's say that the buyer, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the home binder. But the home binder is a tool for the buyers. So let's say that they want to sign up for this, and what it does is a digital form of all the documents of the home. So, and not only it does that, but also, let's say that they need to change the HVAC system, or they need to clean their gutters, they will get emails saying that that needs to be changed, and your branding is on there as well. So it's just another way for you to passively touch your clients. It will be like your phone number, your email, and a photo of yourself on there, and it looks like it's coming from you.
Mm.
And another good thing about that is that, let's say, 5 or 10 years that they want to move out, all the information is in a digital format, and then we'll go to the next home, and your information is on that too. And that one's totally free for the buyer if they want to sign up for the home binder. And let's say that they come out of state and they're needing, they want to know where the best school is at, where the best deal for the internet. The home binder will do that as well. We'll show you ratings by schools, top to bottom of their area, and also, the better deals for the internet or things like that, for utilities that they would need. And then lastly, I want to say that you can also you can have the buyers pay at the close of escrow. It does come with a cost of $100. But, sometimes they don't want to get the inspection they really need, but, if you do it at the close of escrow, they don't really see, the price because everything is bundled together, they can, get the inspection they really need. But that's another thing that we have for the buyers as well.
Buyer doesn't have to pay right there.
No, he can pay, but it does come with a fee. It's $100 extra, yeah, but they can't pay at the close of escrow, and if the escrow does fall through, they will still have to pay, unfortunately. But just letting you know that if they would like to go that route, they can as well through the group.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
and yeah, I think that's all I have.
The cost for the electromagnetic extra?
So that one is 325, if I'm not mistaken, for that one, 325, and then with the home inspection, if you call me, I can give you I can give you guys a discount as well.
So for a standard condo inspection, it doesn't include a balcony.
No, yeah. We don't
Because
spec
it's
that-
specialized, really,
Yeah.
that type of inspection.
Yeah, that one we don't do, it's too much of a liability, but like I said, if you look on our website, we do have, I can actually look for you guys.
The HOA is supposed to provide the balcony report on their own.
Yes,
Oh, I have a question. I know in the report, they always put check with the licensed contractor, right?
Yeah,
So when do you guys actually liable with your inspection? If everything is being thrown to other inspector, contractor.
if, what was your question, sorry, if.
For example, if there is something that, oh, it looks okay, or it looks a little bit wrong here, but check with, not, licensed contractor, always on the bottom,
Uh-huh,
on every item. Let's say there is a leak that is not that bad, but you put the check with licensed contractor. But then, when something happened, like, for example, and then the buyer claimed like, hey, the inspection said it was okay. But the inspector said, well, we told you that you need to check with licensed contractor, so it's not your fault. So now we have to throw it back to the buyer. Well, it's your fault, buyer, because you did not follow up with another licensed contractor.
yeah,
all right.
Where do you actually have a liability? So
so,
company, when do you guys take liability? Whenever you always put check with licensed contractor like that?
well, if we have a liability, it will be on our fault if we miss something, right? So if there is something that maybe in the home that we miss, that could be a liability for us, but other than that, that's why we like to anything that we see, we like to inform, because we don't want it to be, our fault or something that we missed or something that, could be a problem down the line that for you guys. So let's say like you were saying, that's the reason why we put, check with the plumber contractor if there's any types of leak, or maybe, electrician, or if there's anything that, that even though it's minor, it's better to double check rather than, being a bigger problem, because sometimes it could be something minor today, but then in 2 months that could get a lot worse, right?
When there's a whole load of a family in there.
exactly.
There's a car form if there is things that are required or recommended that they check with an electrician, a plumber, there is a car form and it states out that the buyer elected not to check with those particular tradesmen that the inspection company recommended, and they initial those line items. And that protects everybody because you can point out here they're saying, check with a plumber, electrician. If they elect not to do that, give them the car form, they initial it. We have that form, and for that very reason. Because it's up to the buyer to follow through or the agent to recommend it. And
That's
then
important now to put that form up.
the form's super important. So if they don't want to follow what their recommendation is, we have a car form that the lawyers made that you have them initial that they're not hiring the plumber, the electrician as outlined in the inspection report.
Is this stated within the car purchase agreement or is it a separate document?
It's a separate document and it's an inspection document. You just have them initial it. And it's a great form for protection of everybody. And it helps you have a conversation with your client, like, hey, they recommended here a plumber. If you want more detail, feel free to talk to the inspector. But I need to point this out to you. If you're not going to follow the recommendations, then please initial. You'll say something more better in a better way. But there is a form.
Can you tell us how long is a contractor license good for? Once someone get a contractor license, is that the good forever or
No.
is there a time limit that they have to take another test?
For like, if you're saying,
Contractor license, because we're keep saying consult a licensed contractor, but I'd like to know.
oh yeah, that's not forever, but then you'd have to, that's on the company that you'll be, contacting. They will better inform you with that answer as well.
Oh,
Because yeah, I'm not sure, because like I said, we're only there to inspect, and then when we say those things, hey, check with a plumber, things like that, and that's up to their company and then whoever you choose to use.
I
As
have a
well.
feeling that the contractor license is probably good forever.
No, it's not.
A license.
Signature board that you've got, like the
Yeah.
real estate board, isn't there a contractors board too that you have to register with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my family are contractors and he, re-registers.
Yeah, so that's not out of our
Scope.
Ha-
scope, exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll tell you.
We just do the home inspections, yeah.
You sound like you're not so knowledgeable. All of a sudden.
He's trying his best.
I'm trying my best, yeah. You guys are giving me some hard questions.
When you're here.
Yeah. All right, well, any other questions, guys?
Thank you very much.
I will thank you guys. I hope I, at least give you guys some knowledge today, some information, some good information. But I have some cards downstairs, oh no, right here as well. But here, let me give you guys some cards too, if you guys ever need anything.
Thank you, everybody, for attending on Zoom. That concludes our meeting. We had a really good session today. We thank Elite and specifically Pedro for coming out and giving us this wonderful and valuable training. So see you on the next meeting. Everybody have a safe 4th of July.
You have a card?
We really appreciate it. Thank you, and we appreciate your time. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, if you have any